3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Paddlecast, everybody. I've got a very special young guest with me today, the best junior paddler in the world, officially the number 1 ranked junior in the world. He's won an amazing array of big races around the world, and he's still not even old enough to go get a drink here in Australia. Quite incredible. Welcome to the show, 17-year-old Noic Garioud. Noic, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty cool, thank you.
First, I got to ask, how do you actually say your name properly?
Noic Garioud.
All right, it's that French inflection. You're actually not French though. You're New Caledonian, right? Can you just explain for people that have no idea where New Caledonia is? Where do you actually come from?
So I come from a little island, a French island in the Pacific. It's like between Australia and New Zealand, a bit north of New Zealand because it's not that cold here. It's pretty warm. So here's the French island, which is called New Caledonia.
It's basically paradise, right?
Basically, yeah.
And it's not just paradise because it's a tropical island with sunshine all year. It's paradise because you have the most amazing downwind conditions.
Also, and we have a pretty cool lagoon, which is nice for downwinding.
It's the biggest lagoon in the world, right?
The
biggest, like you mean between the island and the outer reef?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 20 kilometers out to the outer reef,
20 to 30 kilometers, yeah. So that's the biggest lagoon in the world, and so it gives us a nice playground for downwinding, practicing racing and everything. So can fishing, everything. That's pretty cool.
So that's why you're almost unbeatable up at the Gorge Paddle Challenge, because you've grown up in this magic downwind paradise.
Yeah, it helps a lot to practice in these conditions, but I'm not unbeatable because as you know, last year in 2019, Connor won the first run of the Gorge.
We're losing to Connor Baxter by half a minute is really nothing. There's no shame there. But you did famously win a couple of years ago. You famously won the Gorge race when it was one of the most competitive races of all time, and you came out. And we had a feeling like this kid, you and your buddy Clement from New Caledonia were starting to get pretty good. And we thought maybe these guys are going to make the podium. And you went out there and you two just destroyed it. It was one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, we were hoping doing something strong on this race, but we were not thinking about won it. And it was actually a good surprise, and it was my first international races that I won. So it was one of the best races ever for me.
And you would have been 16 back then? 15?
I was 16, yeah, 16. Yeah, I just turned my 16 when I did the race, yeah, a few months ago.
You're making me feel really old, buddy. So how long have you actually been paddling? You turn 18 in April, right?
Yeah.
So you're still 17.
I'm still 17, yeah.
You've already become one of the top tier paddlers in the world. When did you begin?
I began 5 or 6 years ago. I was a beginner. I was a surfer, shortboard surfer, and I couldn't hear about sup surfing or racing. Was like, I hate it. And my mother wanted to try the paddle just for cruising, and because she was waiting for hours and hours on the boat while we were surfing on the reef. So she wanted to have a sup and a supboard and just cruising around the reef and see the fish, and everything was pretty cool to do it while we were surfing, you know. And so she wanted to start paddling, and then I had to try because I saw her like having so much fun above the water and see all the reef. So, but it wasn't that easy for me begin the surf because I was this kind of surfer with a hard mind, only wanting to hear about surfing. So I tried after maybe a year. My parents began the surf, and I just began after a year. And I remember this place. We went for a camping on the island, and so we brought some paddleboard and surfboards, of course. And we were cruising on the island, and my mother wanted to go around the island, just check check the island, and the nice weather was pretty cool. So, and I said no, I won't do it. We had enough paddles to do it, but I said no, I won't do it. I'm a surfer. I'm not a paddler, so I will do it with you. But on
you were
a
stubborn young man.
Yeah, I was stubborn. Yeah, definitely. And so I did it. Like I was like paddling for 45 hours on my shortboard, for 45 minutes, sorry, on my shortboards around the island. I was trying to follow them. They were with Sup.
So you were paddling your little surfboard on flat water.
Yeah,
just because you didn't want to do the Sup.
Yeah, exactly. So I was stubborn for that, and I did my 45 minutes paddling. I finished with the shoulder big like this. And yeah, I think that was at this time I said, well, I'm maybe a bit stupid of this, and I should try stand-up paddling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When was the first time you experienced downwind?
New Caledonia. And we have a special run, which is about 8Ks, yeah. And my father did it few times before me, and then he bring me in these conditions. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of surfing. I mean, when the conditions are not so good for surfing, when it's too windy or the swell is not here, I should try to find something else for surfing. And then I found the downwind. My father bring me to downwind.
Yeah.
And then I said, yeah, that's kind of cool, and I maybe should do more of it.
Yeah. Did you know who Tituan was at this point? Had he already become kind of famous, or was he just starting as well? When was this?
Before that, I never heard about Titan.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was stand-up paddling, you know. So I only began with some races, local races in New Caledonia, and then I heard about Titan. I was like, wow, this guy is super fast. I was still with my cruising board, the all-round board. I didn't even know about race boards, you know. What's this board? It's like so big, so huge and skinny. I was like, okay, there exist some different boards for races. So I was like, yeah, I should do more of it, and just begin to talk with people who were good at it. And Clement was already paddling for a few years. So I met him here on the Sup, and we actually trying to do all these things together. You know, we were like two young guys looking for some big downwinds to do. Yeah. I remember this time we went in my second house in New Caledonia, which is about far away from a bit further from Numea, and there was a storm coming. Like a big one. We couldn't hold the board. We had to do like two boys to keep the board not flying away. And we went in this condition, and we did like an hour upwind before we had like 10 minutes downwind, and that was a pretty good session, and was the hardest one, I think. But it comes from here, the passion for stand-up paddling.
Yep. I actually remember Clement Colmas, who you're talking about. He's 1 year older than you, I believe.
Yeah.
And he kind of burst onto the scene a couple of years before you. And we thought he was going to be the prodigy that took over from Tituan. But he's kind of, he just foils these days. Is he still racing?
He's actually in Bali, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that, yeah. And he's only surfing and foiling for the moment, as I heard. But I don't know if he's still training for stand-up paddling. Yeah. But I think he will do the tour this year.
Yeah.
He told me that he will come on the Euro Tour and probably APP races, yeah.
Yeah. And what's it like? You've had Tituan, even though you didn't actually know who he was when you began paddling, you've had one of the most famous paddlers in the world on this tiny island. Like, there's not many people on New Caledonia.
Not that much.
And you've got three of the best paddlers in the world, Tituan, yourself, and Clement. Do you guys train together? Do you paddle together, or is it you just do your own thing?
Well, we trained for 3 years together with Clement and I, because we were at school at the same times in the same school and same class. So we trained together, but Tituan wasn't often at home. So when we could, we did it, but wasn't like all the time. But I trained for 3 years with Clement and Benoit Rivière. which is our coach in New Caledonia.
Yep.
So we were the three of us training like almost all the day, raining or sunny. Anyway, we were training for a few hours.
How much did you train? How much do you train?
Actually, I try to train twice per day. It's a bit complicated. You need the motivation to do it,
Yeah.
So
how do you avoid getting tired of paddling when you're so young? You got so many things you want to try, and you're training so much. Like, where do you keep the motivation coming from?
Well, probably my few ones on the international races, and I think that's the motivation come from. Where the motivation come from, and probably. I mean, I like to hurt myself in the trainings, so I think it comes from here, and the motivation keep coming by the winning of some races. So,
yeah, and you've won some big ones. You famously won the Gorge, 2018. You won half the Gorge last year. You were just behind Connor in the double downwinder. You won the course race. Very famously won in London, the APP event, which I think is no longer happening. So you're kind of one of the very few people that's ever going to have that magic crown trophy, the coolest trophy I ever saw. What was that like? Because that was out of your element. Gorge, that's kind of your thing, downwind riding. But London, you basically had to go and win a flat water race and a sprint. Like, how did it feel to win something that was a little bit outside your comfort zone?
Yeah, it feels pretty great, of course, but it's not that much different than downwinding, actually. Because actually on downwind, you're doing like 30-second sprint to catch the wave, maybe less, 15-second sprint, and then 50-second rest. So it's like always sprinting a bit, resting a bit. So the sprinting on the 100 meters or 200 meters, it's not that much different, So I knew that I was not pretty bad on sprinting, but I didn't thought I was gonna win it. So it was a good surprise.
Yeah, and that you said that's what gives you motivation to keep training hard.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. When you think that you can still win some races, then you keep pushing for it.
What's next on the? Do you have a list of races that you target? Like, is there races you really want to win?
Actually, the 12 Tour.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I did it for 5 years now. Will be the 5th one. And I did it will be my 4th one. Yeah, it will be the 4th time I do it. So I did 5, 5th and 4th. So if I can win it this year, it will be awesome. Probably, the Gorge, of course, once more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's
this is
a special one.
Yeah, that's a special one. That's my home,
Yeah.
my second home. So I definitely want to win this one, and then I don't know. Let's see.
Well, we're not going to have to wait long to find out. The 12 Towers is in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, in a month. Yeah.
You'll be back here in a month for that one?
Yeah, definitely. I just came for some holidays with the family for 2 weeks, and then I will come back for the tour.
Did you get any training? I haven't been here. Has there been any downwind?
I didn't get any downwind here for the 2 weeks I've been here, but I actually got some surf session, good ones, and I went for flat training twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will train harder when I come back home.
What's the scene like in New Caledonia? You were saying the other day that it's starting to drop off over there.
What did I say again? Sorry.
What's the Sup community in New Caledonia like these days? Do you have races? You were saying that the races are getting smaller.
Yeah. We actually don't have any more big races as we had like 3 years ago. When I thought about it, we were like 70 on the starting line 3 years ago, and now we're almost not even 10. So
why is that? Because it's such an amazing place to paddle.
Yeah, it is. And people are switching to foil, actually. I begin to foil, and I don't know.
That's a common thing.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's about everywhere in the world. And we had this little war between two club. Two sub-club, so it kind
politics.
Kind of politics. So it kind of killed the stand-up paddle in New Caledonia.
Wow.
But anyway, people were not attracting anymore by paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they switched to e-bikes which is easier.
E-bikes.
Yeah.
I heard actually the guys in Tahiti said the same thing, that they're losing a lot of paddlers to
Oh
e-bikes.
yeah, really?
What's the
Oh, it's maybe a fashion, or I don't know.
e-bikes? You mean like cross country with an electronic bike kind of thing? Like you go up in the mountains?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. They're cruising in the mountains and doing some run.
Wow. I didn't realize that was competition for Sup, but there you go.
Yeah.
So what's your plan this year? Where are you going to be? You're obviously going to be here for 12 Towers in a few weeks. That's the big ocean race in Australia. We're actually going to be live streaming that one here. So that's going to be exciting. We might be live streaming your first victory of the season.
I hope so. Hopefully,
if
yeah.
all goes according to plan. But where are you off to after that? You going back to Europe?
After that, I come back home. I'll train for 2 months, and then I should go back to Europe for some Euro Tour races. I'll probably do Spain races and then Greece. And after that, I don't know, depend of the sponsors.
Greece is a fun.
Yeah, Greece was fun. Yeah,
Tour, isn't it?
We were together. Yeah.
Yeah, the training in the pool there.
It was super nice. Eh?
That's a very. I think that's one of the interesting things about stand-up paddling is that you often get to have a holiday around the race, and that's the beauty of the Euro Tour and the European. Just any of the races in Europe in summer, is that it's basically an excuse to go for a European summer holiday.
Yeah,
and I mean, I appreciate that
true.
now. I'm quite a bit older. What's it like when you're a kid? Like, I mean, you're still 17 and you're getting to travel the world. How does that feel?
Well, for me, I don't really know, because for me it's like normal thing, but I know which is not. I know it's not. So I try to enjoy it the most I can.
Yeah.
For the last Euro Tour, I traveled with my grandma, which is a chance. I mean, not everyone can do it. That's for sport. Also, that's even best for me. I mean, I'm not just traveling for holidays. I'm traveling for my sport with my grandma, with my family. So I make my family proud of me. So that's even different, you know. And yeah, so for paddling, I mean, I don't know what to say else.
How do you train on the road? Because I know a lot of paddlers struggle, especially when they go to Europe, to stay in race shape, like to keep training every day when they're in the Greek islands, they're having fun. What's your motivation?
That's the trick. That's the trick actually, because it's kind of difficult to train every day in while you're racing, like each week. That's for the Euro Tour races. You have like races each week, so it's kind of complicated to stay in form and keep the power, and while you're still competing, while you're still racing. So that's the trick. You have to pushing yourself while the week is going, but not too much. Don't get tired before the race. That's kind of complicated to train off. So I basically train 3 days while the week before the race. Then I try to rest the day before the race. But I know that all people are not doing the same. I know that some races are not paddling all the week long before the race. So that's kind of tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your secret? You got any like cross training secrets?
No, there's no secrets. Yeah.
No.
I'm just trying to push myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever paddle flat water back home, or is it are you just in this downwind paradise?
No, I'm almost only training on flat waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the week long I'm pushing on the flat water, and then trying to get some downwinds on the weekend, or sometimes I go on the flat session on the morning, and then the afternoon when the wind is blowing up, I try to get the downwind.
Yeah.
Depends of the conditions.
You're wearing a Sonova shirt over there. You famously joined the Sonova team a year or two ago. What's it like working with a brand where you are the top team rider on Sonova, top ranked at least? There's you, James Casey, Callie Margetts. He doesn't race a lot anymore these days. But what's it like? Do you do a lot of R&D? Like, do you go over to Thailand and have some input into the design?
I go to Thailand once per year for the annual meeting of riders and dealers.
Mm-hmm.
So we work on the shapes and try to improve the boards. Yeah.
Yeah. How are the boards looking? You got some magic new shapes this year?
Not pretty much, but I already have the best shape for downwinding, which
Yeah.
is which is pretty cool. And I'm gonna keep it for a few years, I think, because that's the same boards I use for the gorge.
Yeah.
I use the same boards for now 3 years. I never changed my board for the gorge, and I keep pushing with it. So I keep.
You've had the
winning
same
with it.
board 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a magic. But what's the model? Which
The Ocean Pro 24.
All right. There you go. If you want a good downwind board.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
a good
That's the
advertisement for Sonova right there.
Yeah.
Tina will be happy with you.
There we are.
Have you ever tried, have you ever done unlimited?
I tried twice, I think. I tried once in Newcastle and then once in Australia, in Perth. It's
What do you
fast.
think?
It's fast, definitely super fast, but it's not that kind of surf that I like because you're not moving on your board. You stay on the middle of the board with the rudder.
Yeah.
And I like running on my board, like I like to move on my board.
You're like a ballerina, just
turns,
walking up and down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, walking up and down. And I mean, that's the surf I knew, so I want to keep it that way.
Yeah. What do you think? There's been an interesting debate lately about Hawaii. It's always been this unlimited playground, but there's a lot of guys that want to move it back to 14 for the big ocean races, like the Molokai, the Maui to Molokai, to make it a little more accessible. Have you raced in Hawaii?
I never went to Hawaii, never, but I probably will. Maybe not this year because I kind of booked my shuttle, but probably next year. Yeah, I will see. It depends of my study with my parents.
Yeah. What would you like to see, unlimited or 14?
14. Yeah, I want to see it in 14. Yeah, because if I switch to unlimited, I have to practice for a few months before the race, and it would be tough to change my board. So we have unlimited in New Caledonia, but my father is actually racing only in unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will race 12 tour in unlimited too. But if I want to race in Maui with unlimited, I will have to switch my boards like few months before.
Yeah.
And training with it. So I prefer to keep my 14 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems foiling has kind of killed the unlimited.
That's why
in a lot of places.
That's why I didn't switch to foil too. I just tried a few times, but I don't want to get addicted to it. So
yeah, that's a dangerous path to take.
Yeah,
foiling.
definitely.
You may never come back.
We may never come back now.
Have you tried it?
I tried 5 times
Yep.
in downwinding. I break one paddle. So yeah, actually you get some good sensation. Yeah, you are like way high above the water. So that's the fun part of it. You get you get super fast, a lot of speed. But I didn't get all the feeling I get with my 14 foot in the big downwind. So
You still prefer
I
downwind?
I actually still prefer downwinding in the 14 foot. Yeah.
That's good. So we're not going to lose Noic just yet to foiling.
No, not yet.
We've lost a few good men already, but Noic's sticking on this team Sup. That's good to hear. What's that? What's the tattoo on your arm?
That's a paddle on the flat water.
Hey, I never seen that one.
Oh, never?
No.
I had it for 2 years now.
Yeah. All right. So what's the design there?
It's actually a photo of a racer on the flat water in the river, and my father have kind of the same. He did it first on the left arm, in New Zealand, and I did it in Tahiti.
Yeah.
When I went for the Air France Paddle Festival.
Yeah.
Which I prefer to forget.
Fun race that one, isn't it?
Yeah, fun race. Yeah.
23 kilometers in the sun.
Yeah, with no shorts.
That's right. Your pants were falling down.
Yeah.
What's it? What does family mean to you? Because you travel a lot. Your parents are right outside here, and your brother.
My young brother. Yeah.
And you were traveling with your grandma. She was chaperoning you around Europe. Obviously, I mean, you've got to do it. You're young. You're a kid still. But how important is family to you, and how much has it helped you with your competitive career?
Yeah, well, as I told you, it helps me a lot because if my father or my mother were not here, I would have never begun the paddle, So they helped me a lot in every way. I mean, my grandma is traveling with me buying me, trying to help me. I mean, financially, trying to help me for all his travels. My parents too, and so that's a good part of it. That I know I'm lucky that my parents are pushing me into it.
Yeah.
Because it's not the case of everyone. I know that some riders are not pushing by their parents or family, so that's I'm lucky for that.
Yeah. What do you think is the future of the sport as a professional stand-up paddler? Like in 10 years, do you think you'll still be doing this?
I hope so, but I think in 10 years I will get a job and hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know actually, because the SUP is kind of dying in New Caledonia, but it's like still a super small island, so it doesn't mean anything, you know.
Would you ever move to Europe? Would you ever move to France? Like T2 spends a lot of time in France these days.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I don't think that I will move in France now.
You love Newcastle too much?
I love Newcastle too much, and if I have to move, it will be, I think, in the USA.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably Oregon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd move to Hood River?
We thought about it with my parents.
Really?
Well, it's not like a super schedule now.
Yeah.
It's just an idea for maybe in a few years, yeah. We'll see.
So then you'd really be unbeatable at the Gorge Paddle Challenge.
Hope so.
That's
Hopefully.
nice. So we can safely presume that you're going to be back at the Gorge this year.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I won't miss it.
You're going to be doing, obviously, 12 Towers. You're going to be off to Europe for a few of the racing Greece,
races,
Spain. APP,
APP,
I heard, just put on an event you're going to like in Maui. Have you heard about this one?
No, I haven't heard. What is it?
I'm not sure if anyone's heard about this. I'm not sure if I'm even meant to say it, but whatever. Apparently, they're doing one in Maui.
APP races in Maui.
Apparently, I just heard from Connor and the Maui boys that they're gonna line one up in July.
So downwind race, no?
I think it's. I really probably shouldn't be saying this because I don't think it's public yet, but something's happening with the APP.
Yeah, don't get any trouble, Chris.
I'm already in enough trouble with the APP over the years, but I think something's happening in July, and it's going to be downwind based. So,
so I'll probably move to Maui this year.
you might have to put that Maui trip a year ahead.
Then it will be in 14 foot. It
It
has to be.
That's a very good question. Yeah, I think
all APP races are on 14 foot, so
yeah,
be on 14. Yeah,
I think that's actually a debate I was having with Connor, because he's trying to put together, or he's putting together, kind of a triple crown with Paddlemua, Maui to Molokai, and Molokai to Oahu. He's the one working to make them all like this little series. And something I'm going to try and help him out with. And then this APP thing kind of came along from left field.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of that Triple Crown series, they're going to do some kind of downwind event. So I think there's going to be something like 4 weeks in a row in Hawaii, specifically Maui. So it's going to be like the good old days, like downwind month in Hawaii in July. So
that could be great, yeah.
Yeah, get over there, mate. Get on a flight straight from Greece.
Yeah,
straight to Hawaii.
Straight to Hawaii, yeah. We'll see.
You've been competing now against the top guys for probably 3 years, would you say?
Yeah, 3 years. I mean, 2
3
years
seasons?
now in the
2 full seasons.
Yeah, 2 full seasons, and then the first one I was like trying to find a way in this world. I did my first race in Australia. Was for the 12th Tour, and then the King of the Cut.
Yeah.
End of the year. Yeah, was my first international races, and then
Well, that was the year
for 2
T2
seasons
won
now.
it, right?
T2
won King of the Cut. It was like you and Clement and T2 came over and just everybody was like, who the hell are these kids from New Caledonia?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I remember that was that made a big impact.
Yeah, probably, yeah. 2 young guys coming from New Caledonia, and then
Yeah, T2's an old man.
No, I didn't say it.
I said it. He's getting old. No, he started good. He won Glagla.
Yeah, he won.
He smoked it.
That was crazy. Yeah,
A flat, cold race, and he came
yeah.
out and just.
I followed the live in New Caledonia. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty.
I said
amazing,
Ty Judson
yeah.
won the race.
Yeah, you said it like
I'm never gonna live that down. I was
No.
I pride myself on my live streams, and that was just.
No. It was T2, yeah.
It was T2. Yeah, he won it. So he's still in good form. But my question was going to be, Who do you see as the top competition this year?
For this year, Michael, as always, on flat water.
Yeah.
You talked about it with Travis yesterday.
Mm.
I think Michael will be on the top.
Do you think anyone can catch him this year, or is he just next level?
Actually, for me, he's next level on the flat water. But we never know. I mean, something can always happen, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he's on flat water race. I think he's kind of unbeatable, as he did in Bilbao last year. He just did a big sprint in the middle of the race, leaving everyone behind him, and he just keep pushing and getting more distances between people, you know.
Well, that was actually Bilbao a couple of years ago. He did that.
Yeah.
Bilbao last year was the one with Bruno.
Oh, so
and
yeah,
we're
that
sprinting to the
was
finish.
Bilbao 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. But he did the same thing last year
In Greece.
Corfu.
In Corfu, yeah, in Greece, yeah.
Our pool training.
Yeah. Our
week.
pool training week, yeah.
What's it like? You were in that front pack, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When Boothie kind of made his move, and then 5 minutes into the race was over.
Yeah, but I was actually on the Ocean Pro, but it was a dead flat race. So
That's right.
I was with my downwind board.
Ballard promised that it was going to be a downwinder.
Yeah.
And it was the flattest race of the year. Yeah. Thanks, Ballard.
Thanks, Ballard. I was still fun. I did 10, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the top 10, so that was not too bad with a downwind board on the flat water. It's not too bad.
But what happened in that? I was really curious because that was one, like Boothie won a lot of races, but that was the one race where it looked like he was in a different league. What was going through like everyone's mind in that pack when he broke away? It was like, did you just say, okay, well now we're racing for second, or is like, oh come on, let's work, let's catch him?
We actually saw him getting away.
Yeah.
We tried to catch his draft, but he was pushing so hard for so long, you know. So we tried to move we tried to work all together to catch him back, but it was like impossible.
Yeah.
He was crazy, yeah.
Is it actually harder to work together when there's 10 of you in the draft train? Like, would you rather just be 2 or 3 guys working together to try to catch somebody?
When we are 10 in the draft, I mean, we are not all pushing for taking the draft. I mean, there's only 3 or 4 men which are switching for taking the draft, but not all the 10 people are passing by the first place to take the draft.
So if you were in the chase pack in a race, say it was Corfu, how many guys do you want in your group to try and like chase down the leader? And who do you want in your group? Who's your dream little draft train crew? You and T2?
Yeah, definitely T2.
Yeah.
If I can get T2, probably Enzo Bennett too.
Yeah, he did good.
He did super good, yeah, this year. Yeah. Well, last year he did super good, so he will probably do the same this year. I know that he's training a lot. So yeah, definitely want T2.
Yeah.
Probably Enzo, because he's a good guy and he's pushing hard. So that might be the 3 of us, and a 4th one.
You can take a 4th one if you want.
Maybe Ty.
Ty Judson.
Ty Johnson, yeah.
Yeah. He's getting
there's
super
a lot
good.
of people who are able to push, yeah.
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 So let's take it. Let's presume Boothie's going to be the man to beat in the flat water races.
Yeah.
But let's look at a race where you're one of the favorites. Say a downwind race. Say the Gorge. Who's your competition there?
Who
will be your top competition at the Gorge? Or 12 Towers, King of the Cut, any of these downwind races?
I think in the Gorge will be Conor Baxter, as last year. Then Clement. We had a big fight with Clement and Conor. Was a big battle. Probably T2 once more. He did it last year, but I think he will be here this year. We'll see. But if he's here, it will be a big battle with him too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Then who else? Well, there's a lot of guy coming up in the downwind. Keone did good last year. He was 4th or 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's even younger than you.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's a little kid.
That scared me. No, yeah, he did well. So probably him and a few other guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ty is coming in.
Yeah. Ty is young.
Ty is young.
No
too.
one realizes he's like a man child, but he's still only, I think, 18 or 19 years old.
I think he's 19. Yeah.
It's crazy. He looks like 25.
I won't say anything.
But
he looks young. He looks young. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
He had a very good Euro summer last year.
Yeah, he did pretty well. Yeah.
And he's coming up. It's exciting. There's a lot of, especially for me, somebody whose job it is to write about the sport. It's exciting to see so much fresh talent coming through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I remember in the early days when I started Sup Racer 9 years ago, there was 3 or 4 guys that would win every race. It was like Travis, Danny, Connor,
King, yeah, of course.
and
Casper maybe.
Casper was still coming up then.
Yeah,
he had a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Terrien was actually
yeah.
kind of the man back then.
Yeah.
You're kind of your compatriot.
Yeah.
He was like the original French guy.
Yeah.
Did you even ever race against him?
Yeah, on the French championships. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few years ago now because he's only foiling now.
Yeah, we lost him to foiling as well.
Yeah.
He's another man down.
We raced together for 2 years, I think, on the 2 French championship.
Yeah.
He beat me the first championship I did, and then he didn't.
You got him.
Yeah, I got him.
Why is France so strong as a paddling nation? I mean, you won the ISA Worlds this year. Obviously, the Aussies weren't there, but France has been the strongest nation, I think, the past 3 years. By my calculations, I think France has been the number 1 nation for the last 3 seasons. And it's the crazy thing is, we don't even include Tahiti. But Tahiti is France.
Yeah.
Just like New Caledonia is France, 2 islands in the Pacific. So France has just got this dream team.
Yeah.
What is it about the French and paddling?
I actually don't know. That's the question. When you ask the same thing about New Caledonia, I would say it's because of the downwind and the cool runs we have. But France, I don't know. It's like super cold, and I mean, there's nothing to paddle there. But yeah, people are good. I'm thinking about Martin Vitry or Tom Aubert. They are coming up. Yeah. Well, they are already on the top, so yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, they did well on the Glagla race too.
They were looking good at Glagla. Martin was up there, top 5, I think. I think Martin's actually coming to 12 Towers.
Really?
I heard. Yeah, I haven't asked him about that, but Peasy was saying Martin's signed up. So
that could be interesting, yeah.
And Sonny's coming up. It's going to be an international year at the 12 Towers.
Because this guy is good in downwind too, so it'll be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Vitry. There's Martin Vitry, Tom Aubert, a lot of even the younger Aubert, Marius Aubert now is coming up.
Yeah, definitely the young brother of Martin, yeah. Of Tom.
Are there any kids in UCal that are coming through?
My brother.
Yeah?
He's just outside there.
He's paddling?
Yeah, he's paddling a lot, yeah. Well, he's training twice per week.
What's your brother's name?
Vaik.
Vaik. Ah, yes. Vaik. Noic and Vaik.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of easy
you guys like your difficult to pronounce names. What does Noic mean?
Nothing. Nothing. My parents just, I think I don't know if they found it or, no, I think they just created. Yeah, they made it up, yeah.
It's a unique name.
Yeah.
It's a very cool name.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
But you're also known as
Chicken.
Chicken. Where's your hat? You got the
my hat.
The chicken hat. Where did Chicken come from?
From my father. It was like a nickname, but a lovely name, you know. He used to call me poulet in French.
Yeah.
My little chicken, and then he and then he did a post on Facebook.
Yeah.
With was when I won local races in Newcastle. He was proud of my chicken, and then everybody saw that, and it comes from here.
It just stuck.
Yeah.
So now it's Noic Chicken Garioud.
Noic Chicken Garioud.
So your brother's paddling, your brother's training?
Yeah.
That's a scary prospect. How old is he? Like 12?
He's gonna turn 14 in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's 13 now.
So he'll win the gorge in about 2 years?
If he follows the same way as me, yeah, should be.
Wow. Are there many other kids over there paddling?
Yeah, there is also.
Is Ben still doing his training group, Ben Riviere?
Yeah, he's actually not really. He's doing it for me.
Yeah.
We are paddling early in the morning together. as I told you, the SUP is kind of dying in New Caledonia. So he did a good group at the beginning of the year, or was it last year? It was last year, and yeah, we were like 10 to 15 guys paddling the Saturday morning. Was pretty cool. He did some good trainings, but then everybody switched to foil or bike, e-bike. But I tried to train them. The young little guy, Vaik, my brother, and Alexis Chambrenet, one of his friends, and I tried to push them.
So the next generation of New Cal paddlers is already coming through.
They're looking strong, yeah.
Wow. Did you ever get into the VAR, the outrigger?
Not VAR, not the original one. I'm switching to OC.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm paddling OC too. So
Quite a bit?
Quite a bit, like twice per week. I switch sometimes when I don't feel to go on my subboard. I switch to the OC one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been paddling with Tituan?
Not yet, actually, because I just got my OC a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get the chance to paddle on against T2 with my OC and his VAR, his V1. But we went for a V3. 3-place VAR with Ben, Tito, and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it once. Yeah, it was cool.
Is that still a big sport in New Cal?
Yes,
VAR?
it is. Yeah. And it's getting bigger.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's like the traditional Tahitian Polynesian style outrigger canoe where there's no rudder.
There's no rudder.
It's freaking impossible. I've paddled one. How do you go straight in those things? There's no rudder.
Yeah, that's pretty complicated. It's like everything in the paddle. Tito could say it better about it, but it's like everything is in paddle. So you have to paddle. You can't paddle straight. You're always paddling like scrapping and everything. So it's kind of difficult. Yeah.
That's an interesting sport.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And that's the reason that Tahiti and to an extent New Caledonia has got such a strong paddling culture, right?
Yeah.
Because Va'a is very, very traditional.
Yes, it is. Yeah, mostly in Tahiti than in New Caledonia, but it is still a kind of traditional thing.
Yeah. Is there just New Cal and Tahiti have a connection? Do you guys feel like you're brothers at all, or is it too separate? Are you guys too far apart?
We are far away from Tahiti.
Because you're both French speaking, but you're both way out there in the Pacific. We have two
different accents. We both speak French, but we have two different accents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tell when someone's from Tahiti.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't even have to hear him. You just have to saw him. Yeah.
Yeah.
To see him. Yeah.
Do you enjoy paddling with the Tahitians? Like, do you have a lot of respect for those guys?
Well, we did some session during the Euro tour with George and Enzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, we enjoy practicing together. That's cool.
Those guys are strong.
Yeah, they're super strong. I mean, George is what now? I don't want to say.
He's I actually looked this up because I was doing the world rankings a few weeks ago, and I wanted to know if he was a master or not. I think he becomes a master this year. He turns 40 this year.
40, yeah.
So he's 39.
So yeah, he was 39, so he's turning 40 this year. Yeah, that's right.
And he's still so strong.
Man, on flat water, he's incredible. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, remember on Greece, the flat water race we were talking about. He looked so strong during the race. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's like the raging bull.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite incredible. I think Tahiti, like those guys have been around for ages, for years now. But I think Tahiti and definitely New Caledonia is still very underrated, especially if you go to somewhere like America where there's a little bit of a bubble sometimes and they don't always see what's happening in these smaller nations. But Tahiti is just so strong. And I always looked at New Caledonia as basically like, you're like the little baby Tahiti. There's not as many paddlers there, but the top paddlers are just as good. And it's the same culture, this outrigger culture.
Well, they are if you're talking about stand-up paddling, yeah, the same. The level is about the same, but in traditional VAR, they are way better than us in New Caledonia. Yeah, because it's kind of their culture,
It's the national sport in Tahiti.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's it.
They're
Yeah,
superstars.
mm-hmm.
Like Stevie Tishotada.
Stevie Tishotada.
He's like on TV. He wins a car when he wins a race.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
This guy is crazy too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty good.
Are there any more secret paddlers in New Caledonia that could switch over from Va'a? Because in Tahiti, there's hundreds.
Yeah.
It would be scary if they all changed over. But
Yeah.
in New Caledonia?
New Caledonia, I don't think so. Not really. No.
Yeah.
We are all already paddling on the Sup, so
Yeah.
there will be no big surprise from New Caledonia this year.
Okay. So we're going to have to wait a couple of years for your brother to come through?
Yeah, for the bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's it? What do you think for 12 Towers?
What do I think?
Yeah. Who's going to be the tip? Apart from yourself, obviously. I mean, in terms of competition.
I think.
Is Titu coming over?
That's the question. I actually don't know who is coming. So I think Titu is coming.
He said, I talked to him in Glagla. He said he was 50-50.
50-50, yeah. So that's nothing.
You haven't
sure.
heard?
Yeah, I haven't heard about it.
All right.
Since yet. So if Titu is coming, yeah, it will be a big challenge. Then Boothie is doing it, I think, no?
Yeah.
Probably. So Boothie will
Always
be
around.
He's
getting good at downwind too.
Yeah, that's the trick, yeah.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
He used to when he started, he was a little off the pace in the downwinders. He was kind of more the flat water guy
because of the balance, but he's getting super good at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a frightening prospect.
Yeah, Boothie is to watch out. And Titu too.
How about Lincoln?
Lincoln news, yeah. What's the news?
He didn't. There's some news. I was sworn to secrecy. He's gonna be. Lincoln's gonna be on the podcast next week, and I think he's got some news for us.
Can't wait to hear it.
I was sworn to secrecy. I can't say, but Lincoln Jews has some big news this year. We'll see.
We'll see next week.
We'll see what he's riding.
Yeah.
12 Towers. But no, he's another guy that could be up there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a defending champion.
Definitely, yeah. He won last year, so he did it super strong, yeah.
How about the women's side of the sport? Is there any top women in New Caledonia that we're not hearing about?
No, there's no girl really paddling, no. They're just doing it for fun, and they don't have the high level.
Is that a cultural thing? Why is it just they're not interested? Why is that?
Why that paddling?
Why are there not more women paddling? It's the same in Tahiti.
I don't know. I don't know. They maybe think that's a men's sport. I don't know.
Has VAR traditionally always been a men's sport?
There's some girls paddling on VAR.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they're not switching to paddle. Maybe they prefer to stay sit on the VAR.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
That's interesting, yeah.
Are there any downsides to being a 17-year-old jet-setting, world-traveling professional athlete? Is there anything bad about it, or is this kind of a dream job?
Oh, there's nothing bad about it. And, that's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool to be on the top super young. It means that, I mean, that's a good part of it. If you can be at the top at 16 years old, then you have a few more years to come.
I mean, if you follow the Kelly Margetts model, you've got
definitely.
You've got about 20. No, wait, you got about 33 years to go.
Oh.
He's 50. He's still competing.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. Most of the people he beats can't believe it.
Yeah.
But I think he's finally starting to slow down a little bit. But
yeah,
he's been on top basically until he was 50 years old. So if you follow that model, you got like 3 decades in this.
Yeah,
sport.
3 decades. Yeah.
That's a little daunting.
Yeah.
Could you do it for 3 decades, or would you?
I don't think so. No.
You need a break.
I need a break. I'll switch to foil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you do any other sports when you were a kid? Was there anything else that you were
surfing?
Just surfing.
Yeah, just surfing. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever want to be pro? Was that it, or
not,
you just
not
did it for
really.
fun?
I was just doing it for fun. I went to surf like each weekend after school. I was surfing, but I never thought about doing it for like pro. And then I began the paddle, and they just turn over. It's like it gets another way. So yeah, I didn't thought about being a pro.
What makes you want to be a pro with stand-up paddling then? Because you're surfing just for fun, and downwinding, many would say, is just the one part of paddling where you can just do it for fun.
It was
Why do you compete?
it was actually for fun that I began to paddle too. It was just to find another way to surf while the conditions for real surf was not good.
Yeah.
So I found the downwind, and then my father said, "Hey, I heard about a race in Australia, which was the King of the Cut.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you want to go and just try yourself?" I said, "Yeah, why not? Just trying, you know."
Yeah.
And it's where I met Sonova.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my first race in the dugout, Sonova board, and I got the 15th or 13th place, I think,
Yeah.
for my first races, and I was like, "Shit, that's not too bad for a first race, for first international race." You know, the level was high. We had like Bo Bryan,
Yeah.
Matt Nottage, who else? T2, of course, yeah, Kelly. So there was a big level, you know, and I was like, "Shit, that's not too bad for a beginner."
Yeah. For a 15-year-old as well.
Yeah.
You're 14 or
14,
15?
14 years old, yeah.
Wow. And then from there?
And then from there, I just kept training only on downwind at the beginning. And then I understood that I had to paddle on flat water if I want to be on the top.
Mm.
So I began to paddle only on flat water, because that was my kind of bad part.
Yeah.
The one I was not so good at it. So I knew that I was not too bad in downwind. So I tried to catch up the flat water part.
Yeah. That's very I mean, I really respect that. It must take a lot of motivation when you can see just perfect downwind bumps just out there to see, and you're like, "No, I'm going to stay here in the flat,
training in harbor
in circles."
That's exactly it. That's it. Training between two buoys and turning.
You don't go crazy?
4 hours. Yeah, I went crazy. Yeah, I did. Sometimes you just want to stop and get out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, having fun with friends, but you know that if you want to be at the top, you have to keep pushing.
Yeah. I mean, you're 17, you're about to turn 18. Most guys your age are just out partying and getting drunk and not doing a whole lot with their lives. You're traveling around being a professional athlete. Do you ever stop and question and say, "Man, am I missing anything?" Or are you just having too much fun?
I'm enjoying too, because I'm not just pushing and training all the day long on the water. I mean, if I have a party, I just go to the party. I just try to don't drink so much, and then
So you're still a kid. You still enjoy life.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not like one of those Usain Bolt, just 24/7.
No, I'm not stopping everything for paddling.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
Yeah.
You got to have that balance.
Yeah, exactly. You have to keep this balance, because, I mean, if you just stop something for anything else, it just make you crazy, you know, and just turn you crazy. So you have to keep this balance, and you have to keep in mind that what you're doing, you do it for fun. You're not doing it for anybody. You're doing for you. You're doing it for you, so for fun, and just you have to keep that in mind, you know.
Yeah. That's a very mature way of looking at things. I'm impressed that you can articulate it that way, that you can say it that way, because
I try to explain it as much as I can in English. Sorry for my
I think you said it perfectly. I'm impressed that you can actually
I don't really know if what I say makes sense to hear, but I hope so, yeah.
No, your English is actually just about perfect.
Getting better.
I remember when you guys came over a few years ago.
For the Turf Tour?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, T2 was the worst. When T2 came over, like, it would have been 6 years ago now. I think 2014 was his first 12 Towers. He hardly spoke a word.
I wasn't paddling yet.
Yeah.
2014 was a long ago, yeah.
He was really shy. He wouldn't speak because his English wasn't perfect yet.
Yeah.
So he didn't say much. And then when he did, he had this crazy strong French accent. We couldn't understand a word he was saying.
Yeah.
And probably vice versa.
And then probably, yeah.
A couple of years on tour for T2, and he's like, he's a natural. So it's a good education, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I only learned English by traveling around the world, and not really by school. I mean, school level, it's like you just you just learn how to say hello and goodbye, and then to make yourself understand. But then I just try to improve my English by traveling, and I'm not really shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that helped me a lot.
No, I've seen you on the dance floor over there in Europe. You're not shy, man.
We're not gonna talk about it. Yeah.
They have different age requirements in Europe. Some of the kids manage to get out.
I told you I'm still enjoying life.
No, it's good to see. It's always good to see. I think that's the best part. That's the best part of our sport. Like you summed it up. Where we like you guys compete and it's very serious on the water, but once we're off the water, this sport is fun.
Yeah,
we have fun, and I think that's why it's such an enjoyable career.
We are having a lot of fun, and I think the part where we are having the most fun, it's on the Euro Tour races. I think it's because we are traveling all around Europe, and so we are competing each week. We are racing each week, and when that's done, we are just getting out and celebrating.
Yeah.
For the race we just did, and just trying to forget the race because it was maybe hard or maybe not. Maybe we're just enjoying because we won the race or we did the top 3, and somebody are still coming for partying because they want to forget the race. So that's the fun part of Eurotour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got a favorite race over there in Europe?
Favorite race. I would say Bilbao 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I did a pretty good race. I finished 6th. Was 2 years ago, so I wasn't practicing a lot of paddle. Well, I was training, but still training on downwinding, not really on flat water. I just start at this moment really training on flat water, so it was a big surprise for me. It was pretty cool, but I liked Greece too. Yeah.
Have you got a favorite destination? Like if there was someone listening, say there's someone in America listening to this and they want to come to the Euro Tour for a couple of weeks, what's the best destination?
And the Euro Tour,
to combine like the race, like going out and being a tourist and checking out the countryside. What's the best part?
I really liked San Sebastian in Spain. It was pretty fun.
That was the best race.
I think so, yeah.
It's gone now though.
But actually, Greece is still awesome. Corfu and Agios was just crazy for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun with amazing people. So.
Yeah, I was surprised by Corfu. I didn't know what to expect, but that was one of my funnest weeks of the summer.
Yeah.
I've booked that one in. I'm not sure how many weeks I'll do in Europe this summer, but I'm definitely doing Corfu.
Yeah.
That was good fun.
I will too.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Well, all right.
I'm going to book my flight.
We'll see you there.
Yeah,
and
definitely, yeah.
We'll see you in a month at 12 Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys will be able to watch this young superstar on the 12 Towers live stream first weekend of March. So, Noic, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thanks to you guys.
Chatting with you, man.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in a month.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you again next week. Special guest Lincoln Jews with some big news.
Big news, yeah.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, man.